Another week in another injury report, and more players being ruled out in Week 12 versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Arizona Cardinals did get some good news. Let's dive into it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack up that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. On this channel, we're covering the Arizona Cardinals news, breaking news, conversational pieces, everything surrounding your favorite team. So subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. We are on the road to 19K. Cannot do it without you guys. So don't be one of those guys that love hover around. Just subscribe it up. Absolutely for free. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about the latest news for the Arizona Cardinals, my overall thoughts, and just kind of the state of the Cardinals right now, right? I mean, obviously, up and foremost, thanks for watching because I understand this season has not turned out the way that any of us expected it to turn out, right? 3-7, 0-4 in the division, 7 games left. We're playing November football, and again, another year, and the Cardinals are trending into a fourth straight losing season. So I know not ideal, but I appreciate you guys for tuning in. But we really want to talk about the news that ended up dropping here from the Arizona Cardinals. Jonathan Gannon did meet with the media earlier this morning and provided us some much needed information about some injuries heading into Week 12 versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. And obviously, shout out here to Adam Schefter for putting this post/tweet out on Twitter/X very, very quickly. And it says this: the Cardinals have ruled out wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. and running back Amari DiMercado for Sunday's game versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. They also opened up 21-day window for Trey Benson. We're going to be talking about Trey Benson a little later on, but I want to focus on the two guys that have already been ruled out. Marvin Harrison Jr. is not a shock that he's going to be missing a little bit more time, especially with the injury that he ended up sustaining. Well, not really an injury, but the surgery that he's still recovering from. Now, we already know the famous picture out there from Marvin Harrison Jr. looking very, very also sad with the big hood over his head, and just kind of basically just seeing his face. That's kind of how we all feel as Arizona Cardinal fans right now. Like, let's be real. Like, this is a brutal season, and to not see your 4th overall pick and still recovering, it's a bummer. It really is. Now, obviously, you don't want to throw him out there if he's not fully healthy or if he's not ready to take on physical activity. Absolutely makes sense. I was actually kind of shocked that the Cardinals were not going to be placing him on IR. Like, I was kind of expecting. I was expecting the worst, but as of right now, the Cardinals are still keeping him, you know, I guess just ruling them out at this point. They're not placing them on IR. Now, we don't know exactly how it's going to shake out. We do got 7 weeks left in the season. I don't know if they're going to be pulling one of those things with like Kyler Murray, right, where they kept him active for a very long time and then decided to say, oh, maybe this just isn't going to work. Just shut him down for the season. I don't know. I don't know how the Cardinals are going to be playing this, but all I know right now is that I would like to see him out there, but obviously not at the expense of him re-injuring a wound that he needs to recover from obviously surgery. So at the end of the day, sucks you don't see him out there, but maybe, just maybe, we might see him sometime in 2025. We're just going to have to kind of keep a close eye on updates from Jonathan Gannon and this Arizona Cardinal regime. And honestly, at this very moment, we got Jacksonville coming into State Farm Stadium. I'm actually kind of curious to figure out how the turnout is going to be, with obviously Jacksonville not being a very, very big fan base like the 49ers or the Packers or the Seahawks. I'm kind of curious to figure out, if you, as an Arizona Cardinal fan, are you going to be going to State Farm Stadium? Let me know in the comments below. Or if you're a season ticket holder and maybe reconsidering re-upping your season tickets. I just want to know all your guys' thoughts overall in the comments below right now. But Marvin's ruled out, and then obviously Amari DiMercado as well being ruled out as well. That's not really one of those things where like it's a big, oh man, like that's it, we're cooked. No, I mean, obviously the Cardinals have been cooked since we lost to the Tennessee Titans this year, but it does suck to not have Amari DiMercado just because of depth more than anything. Right now we have Bam Knight and Michael Carter being your 1-2 guys, and they started off, or at least Michael Carter started off the season in the practice squad, and then Bam Knight was your fringe running back number 4. With all the injuries that ended up happening for the Cardinals, this is who we are left with right now. So it's kind of big news for the Cardinals right now to really kind of figure out what they're going to do at the running back position moving forward. Now, of course, with Trey Benson's window opening up, that is, I guess, the best news we've actually seen in a very, very long time. That Trey Benson's, 21-day window is opened up. Now, that doesn't really mean we're going to be seeing him here in week 12. It just means that he's got 21 days to be activated to the 53. And if he's not activated within that time frame, then he's going to be placed back on IR for the rest of the 2025 season. Now, of course, the Cardinals right now are in a situation where they really got to think about the running back position. What is going to be happening moving forward with the Arizona Cardinals? Because as of right now, I feel like we got so much question marks, more question marks leaving the season than we did coming into the season, which obviously that's not a good place you want to be in, because you can look all across the depth chart for the Cardinals in 2025, and we got a slew of multiple different question marks heading into 2026. Quarterback, potentially another wide receiver if you're not sold on Michael Wilson, which, let's be real, Michael Wilson might have himself another game versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll have to kind of wait and see how that shakes out. The right side of the line is very, very questionable. Another middle linebacker. I know Cody Simon is, going through the bumps and bruises, but I would love to see a veteran there. Maybe he does develop to be that guy for us. We don't really 100% know, but there's question marks there. Also, the Akeem Davis Gaither position. I don't know. I'm not convinced that he's the future for us. I think we just signed him on a 2-year deal anyway, so he's not the future. And then that Calais Campbell role as well, right? With the guy that's opposite side of Walter Nolan. What we're going to do with that when he decides to hang him up. And then, Buddha's getting older. Jalen Thompson's getting older. And then our cornerbacks, can they stay healthy? Although I really like our cornerback core with Garrett, Max Melton, as well as Will Johnson. Can they stay healthy? That's the biggest question out there, right? So a lot of questions, man. A lot of questions for the Cardinals. And, oh, yeah, on top of that, the edge rusher opposite side of Josh Sweat. We still don't have a guy that's opposite side him. We got a rotational by committee type of situation with obviously Zaven, Baron Browning, B.J. Ojolari, Jordan Birch. But other than that, the only real X factor you have on that D line in the edge is going to be Josh Sweat more than anything. But like I said, it just kind of goes to show just more question marks more than anything for the Cardinals heading into 2026. Now we might have to consider getting ourselves a running back because we don't know. Like, I like Trey Benson, I really do, but can he stay healthy? That's the biggest question out there. Can he stay healthy? We've already had him for 2 years, and he landed himself, on the IR both of those years. So maybe the Cardinals consider getting a mid to late round running back, a guy that they really like. I don't know. I don't know how this is all going to shake out, but one thing I do know is that there's a lot of question marks, and I do want, obviously, Trey Benson to succeed here. I would love nothing more than Trey Benson to succeed here in the Arizona Cardinals. It's that the biggest question is, can he stay healthy? Like, right, that's what we said a little earlier, can he? And right now, we don't know. I know he's a hard runner. I know he's one of those guys that can be a home run type of, halfback that we got. But at the end of the day, best ability is availability here for the Cardinals. And as of right now, we have not been able to see that from Trey Benson in a consistent manner. Let's move on over to the sponsors real quick. Let me give a real quick shout out to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan, the guys that are keeping the lights on. That's going to be none other than Sleeper. The NFL season is here, which means you now have a chance to 100 times your cash on daily fantasy football. Pick on stats like touchdowns, passing yards, and receiving yards, and fantasy points and more for up to 100 times the payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right, and you could win big. Use promo code AZSF, and you can get up to a $100 deposit match on your first initial deposit. Terms and conditions do apply. And on top of that, you will also be provided a $20 entry just like that for using my promo code AZSF. Just like that. No deposit needed. They'll just provide it to you by using my promo code. Make sure you check them out. Proud sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan throughout the entirety of the 2025 season. Now, of course, I know you're going to be asking questions like, okay, Will Johnson, is he going to be available, right? What's going to happen with, all the other guys that missed out last week? Well, as of right now, they haven't been ruled out, right? So we have to wait for the injury report on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I usually don't freak out on Wednesday's injury report, but Thursday and Friday is kind of where it gets a little sticky. I would say if you're kind of interested about Will Johnson, maybe wait a little longer when it comes down to the whole, is he playing, is he not playing? Let's wait a little bit more for that. But as of right now, what we do know is that Marv is rolled out. Amari DiMercado is already rolled out. And then the Trey Benson situation, they did ask, and I mean the media did ask about, can he be playing this week? I would love for him to play this week. Obviously, I would love for him to play this week. We don't know if he's going to, but as of right now, Jonathan Gannon responded with, they're going to evaluate him, and he's day by day, right? That's just kind of the mantra of this coaching staff. They've been doing it for 3 solid years. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but if they have some sort of quote-unquote competitive advantage, or if they feel like that, they're going to keep rolling with the punches and keep doing that whole day-by-day situation. So it is what it is. We'll see here if Trey Benson will be a go in Week 12 versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, those are your big updates for the Arizona Cardinals. Make sure you smack the like button on your way out. Also, subscribe on the road to 19K. Cannot do it without you guys. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cardinals.